Top of the morning to you. Today's August 21st. It's about 5:55 in the morning. Been up for about a half hour, just trying to get my energy so I can put a smile on the camera right now. One of the things about being able to do camera work, or when I'm recording in my audio studio behind me in the morning, is usually it's pretty quiet out there. One of the only things I usually have to deal with is maybe the ducks quacking outside or the birds waking up and tweeting in the morning, which I'm sure in some poetic sense is a fantastic way to greet the morning. But when you're trying to do things that involve audio, it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. A bunch of years ago, I used to commute into New York City. So I would have to get up at like 5:30 in the morning, get everything all ready, have breakfast, get my bag ready, get dressed, take a shower, and then commute in by 6:30 to get to my desk by like 8 or so. Okay. When COVID happened, I tried not to stop doing that. I tried to avoid sleeping in the mornings because all of a sudden I had another 2 hours to my day that I can take care of things like audio work or whatever before the rest of the house woke up, before the wife woke up and the kids woke up. Unfortunately, then my wife started getting on my schedule, so I had to compete with her watching her morning news or whatever else, or last night's news that she recorded and watching it this morning. But that's neither here nor there. But sometimes it just takes a little bit of time in the morning to get from like waking up and being active and still looking all drawn and be like, oh, I'm still tired. I got to do whatever else. So I've learned to kind of like give it a half hour if possible, and maybe I'll just grab some extra energy so I can come here and talk to you with a better voice and a more lively attitude that is more reflective of me than the morning draw. So, but without further ado, let me get on with my week. I will say one thing that I've been very happy to see this week is I've actually been feeling better. I'll say I've been feeling lighter, which is true, but there is kind of I don't know if it's the energy, if it's just my attitude and mindset that's been reflecting the fact that I've been having success with what I'm doing and with other things in general. I could possibly say I'm a happier person. That might be putting it a little bit too far, seeing how I could be a grumpy Gus at times. But it is one of those things that I think the success is helping me just be a better me as I'm going forward. So I'm very happy for it, and I'm doing what I can. I could say this week I had another instance where a second pair of shorts that I've been wearing for years, I've been able to feel slipping off my butt like I did the first pair. So I actually have to, cinch the drawstring a little bit tighter to make sure it stays on and doesn't have that about to fall off kind of feeling. And I'll tell you what, the fact that my clothes are just a little bit baggier is helping my mind out. It's helping my attitude out. It's helping my outlook out. So I'm having success here, and I'm noticing it. So it's a good thing for me. I'm really enjoying it. This actually is my last injection in my second Ozempic pen. That's why the picture to this video has me kind of like almost throwing it over my shoulder saying this one's done. It's also a reminder I got to get to my pharmacist to pick up my latest one. So, again, I've dialed it in. Oh, you know something? I'm pinching here, and I can feel it feels a little bit more flabby. It feels less solid, which unfortunately means it's getting into that kind of like loose skin era. But still, I mean, I knew it might happen. It's coming, so these are the positives that I'm seeing for myself. My clicks are done. My injection is done. So, this is my 12th shot. So, It's 11 full weeks on Ozempic. And again, I'm doing Ozempic personally because I've actually had blood results from a physical about, let's see, this is 12 shots, so this is 3 months on it. I probably did them 2 months before, so 5 months ago, and my blood results were diabetic. My cholesterol has always been bad. I mean, just look at me, you can almost see that would be the case. But the A1C, and A1C is one of those things that, you gotta keep ahead of, keep in charge of, keep on top of. So one of the things that I actually has done recently is there is a holistic medicine woman that I see every 2-3 years for once that I go check out. That she's like an herbalist too, so she doesn't believe in any of this stuff. That's one of the things that I'm seeing more and more is you mentioned things like semaglutides, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, and whatever the fourth one is, Wegovy. People are just so happy to tell you about the negatives. Oh, by the way, you can get that, nausea feeling. Oh, I also heard that it does, it makes this happen or whatever else. And it's something about the innate nature of people to just go the negative route and tell you why you shouldn't be doing these kind of things. Well, I'll tell you what, this here is episode 36 of me trying to do this journey. And of 36, it's my 12th shot. So I had 24 episodes before that of trying to make a difference. Okay, I know how to exercise. I know the importance of eating well. I am an adult and I have the full mindset. Just my efforts have not been finding good fruition. I would have times where I would get on the ball and make good strides, but then that would kind of leave. So this was my next step overall. But let me get down to the nitty gritty now. Let's talk about what happened on the scale this morning. And then I have a funny story of what happened on the scale the second time this morning too. So, again, my graphics department got together with this high-tech post-it note here, and I'm at 261.8. Okay? I know from last week I was hoping to say, hey, let me get into 250s, and that would have been a 4-pound difference, but that can be difficult. Or it could have been easier had I put in a little more effort and increased the number of days I exercised even without my trainer. So, I believe things are attainable, but you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort. Here I've been doing my usual effort, and luckily, between last week and now, I've gone down 2 pounds. Okay? And this puts me at down 24.2 in the 11 weeks that I've been putting forth this new effort. So, I'm a step away from that 25, which is another charm. I definitely hope to break that out here next week. And hopefully, being only 1.8 pounds away from the 250s, I might be able to celebrate that as well. Now, that being said, why is this number funny to me this morning, which will put me in a better mood to come here and talk to you today, is when I first woke up this morning, the number was actually this. So I was like, all right, still down 1.1 from last week. The slow and steady is a good thing. But, I woke up, did this, then brushed my teeth, took care of a little other ablutions, and then came downstairs. Got things ready, made sure this camera's actually going to work today, and knock on wood, thank God it already is. But then I went to the bathroom. Now, I used to talk about how I used to be a 3-poop morning guy, but that was because I usually had large dinners. I had 2.5 or so drinks at night with the dessert, so I had enough in my system to leave. Okay, now I have been controlling my appetite, or perhaps Ozempic has been controlling my appetite, and my intake is a lot less. So I don't have as much excess in my system that needs to leave. But also because I'm not doing 3 in the morning anymore, I don't get that once I wake up, once I've moved around, and the after breakfast one. So, but I actually took care of myself, and this was the result. Before and after. And it's funny because when I did these things in the past, even prior to taking Ozempic, I used to make sure when I weighed myself once a week, it was naked after poop. That would be the best number I possibly can get into. Well, I don't do that in the morning as much, so it was a before poop, and I can actually tell myself this is my before poop number, this is my after. So I'm sticking with this one, not just because it's the better one, but it's my latest one. It was done a half hour after the first one, so I find that funny. Now, also funny, or not funny really, is when I'm talking about people who are discussing the fact that there's negatives taking this stuff. Everyone goes the constipation route. In fact, someone had mentioned that as a comment, in the last couple of weeks too. And it might be a thing, but personally, I have not experienced it. So, results may vary, but this is one of those things where, people were very quick to go the negative route. And I'm not sure why that's the case. I don't know if it's one of those things where, because in the last 10 years or so, people like to, or I noticed that people like to talk about politics more, and it's either A or it's B. And if you're not A, I'm anti-B. And if you're not B, I'm anti-A, and it's boom. You know something? People can have different opinions and not be your enemy. And it's almost like that, where people want to say like, oh, you went down this route, A, you're cheating, and B, what you're doing right now is so harmful for you. Let me tell you about how harmful it is, because I did my research on comments I heard online. So, luckily, I'm the kind of person that can put that behind me. But if you're a person that is doing this, I'm sure people, if you're one that actually shares what you're doing with people, they're giving you the negatives too. And they're not even on it to say I've experienced the negatives. They're just doing the what I heard kind of thing. Again, just like politics, people like to do, oh, what I heard was you're the people that does this. No. So, this is my testimonial to you, which also gives accountability to myself. Okay? That I have to make sure I make a measurement every Wednesday, take my medicine every Wednesday, and do the changes I need to do outside of medicine in order to make the strides to make me a better person. Like I said, I have now 2 instances of wearing a pair of shorts that I've worn for years that I now have to draw in the drawstring and make them tighter. This shirt, when I put it on this morning, I didn't have to use my elbows on the inside to stretch it out to make sure it fits my chest better and isn't doing one of those like raw hugging things and having my nipples poke out or whatever else. I'm making my strides. And the good thing is now that I'm starting to feel like I'm making differences, it's giving me an extra step of motivation. I'm hoping that I can actually sit down with my child, who's 6, the oldest one is 6, and maybe do some exercises in the den in the evening and do it with him. And maybe we'll kind of like, let's see who can hold a plank longer. And I'll teach him how to do it. And him having all the energy in the world, he should outplank me, gloriously. But, maybe something I can do. Speaking of planks, by the way, they are very effective at helping your core. That is a thing, by the way, I know that I can actually see the benefits in my trainer doing. Because when we started working out about 2-3 months ago, he had me doing planks on my knees. And we started out 20 seconds. And we do it 3 times. We would do a bike for like 30 seconds, do a plank for 30 seconds, and then go back and forth 3 times. That would warm me up and get me ready for my session. So we do the plank on my knees, and we did 20 seconds, and then bumped it to 30, or maybe in 3 sets, do 20, 20, 30, and then do 20, 30, 30, then do 30, 24, 30, 30, 40, and then we were doing that. But once we got to 45 seconds on my knees, he said, I want you on I want you on full plank. So I'm sitting there in that almost half push-up, doing a flat body plank, and then it was like, we're starting with like 15, 20 seconds. Okay, now we're already bumping up to 30, 30, 30. I think we're doing 30, 30, 40 today, and so on and so forth. So my plank time has increased. I've gotten solider. I've gotten better at doing that kind of an exercise. So just that alone, outside the other exercises that I've been doing, that I've been increasing the weight in, increasing the reps on, increasing the intensity, I know that my body's getting better. Which makes numbers like this even happier to see, because if I'm building muscle being more dense than fat, I should be gaining weight. And it's one of those things where through weight training, you're gonna bulk up, but not as much as people are afraid of. But I should be getting more muscle and getting stronger and stronger, and therefore the weight should be increasing until it gets to that point where the muscle truly starts feeding on the stored energy in the fat in my body. So it's going to be a short-term weight gain as the muscle grows stronger, and then a better weight loss as the muscle starts eating on the body. So again, the adult knowledge, the adult brain of the history of my own working out and exercise and nutrition knows that this is what happens. It's the reason why some people fail in their exercising, because they'll start exercising, see that the scale isn't changing or going up, get destitute, and stop their efforts. But I know working out and weightlifting is one of the better ways that you can do to lose weight in the long run, not in the short term, in the long run, than just dieting alone. Luckily, I'm doing both. I've been hearing that people say not only this stuff like, leaches and sucks from your body, it sucks and leaches from your muscles as well. So that's why I decided to go to the trainer. Not to mention, I knew that if my fat was going to suddenly leave me, I was going to have extra skin on my chest, extra skin down on my belly. So I'm trying to exercise in order to tone that up and possibly not have loose skin everywhere else. Which also means if I'm doing ab work, I got to do oblique work on the sides too to make sure I'm hitting all that's possible. So that's what I have for today. I'm just going to leave with one thing, probably something I have to go see a doctor about. But I had a meniscus surgery on my left knee back in August. In fact, in August, I did my left knee and my right shoulder in the same month, about 30 days apart from each other. But my left knee, within the last week, I've been noticing, this actually would happen at night. So your day's over, wife and I finally put the kids to bed, we sit on the couch, watch our one episode of whatever else. We're actually very interested in that show Evil right now. There's only one more episode left and the whole series is over. But it's a fun kind of religious version of X-Files, where they have a little bit of possessions and a little bit of hallucinations, almost, supernatural in there as well. And you have science versus religion. But it's been a fun show. I'm glad we watched the series. I do recommend it to anybody out there. I think it's a CBS show on Paramount as well. But we get to watch our one episode, and we're probably eating our dinner in front of the TV in a bowl after, our evening has finally come to a close. So it's one of those things where we would sit down, watch our episode, but I've been noticing for myself that when I get up off the couch and I walk, I have a clicking in my knee. Almost like there's a gas or a nitrogen popping. Something happened. I thought it was happening from my calf, but now I think it is happening from my knee, so I might have to get a hold of my ortho to figure out what's going on here. But again, it's been just about a year since I had that surgery, and I've now lost 20 pounds since doing Ozempic, so I'll get it looked into. I don't believe it's related or it's a side effect to the semaglutides, but I do know that some of the research on them is new. But if I hear anything, I'll let you know. But that's like the one negative I've been seeing so far, but it might just be relief on the knee. Oh well. Again, full disclosure. Alright, in any event, right now it's been about 20 minutes. Let me let you go. I want to thank you very much for listening to this. Hopefully it's got something that you can use in your life. If you have anything that you think I can use in mine, please let me know. I'm very receptive to talking to people who comment on these videos. So, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you here next Wednesday morning. Alright? Bye-bye now.